In this video, I will try to discuss the Python programming. So the first thing we'll try to understand is like formatting options available in the Python. So I try to discuss this. So I will take some message over here, and I will have some placeholders here. So my name is something. I just leave it as an empty, and I just want to format this. So dot format. So you have option like dot format here, dot format. So this. So here we have name is equal to like John, I will say, and age is equal to say 34. So just run this out. So my name is John and the age is the 34. So this is how the first option that is available in the format. The second thing we have like we can have instead of using name and age, we can have some empty, or you can say numbering is also allowed. So I will have some numbers over here. So dot format. So what is the 0 here? So the first thing we can have the name over here and the age here. The same thing we are doing it by having some numbering system over here. So this is also you can format, and you can this message will be replaced with the options that is given in the format. So this the same thing is being displayed over here. So you can have some empty placeholders. How to do this? So here it is, name is this empty placeholders, dot format. So we can have like just run over this. The same thing is being displayed. So we can have empty placeholders, or you can have 0 and numbering options, and we can give it some variables name also. This is what this format, and we can also have some conversions like decimal to binary and binary to decimals. So let's try to understand this, how to convert the given value to the decimal value. So here we have like format option here, format. So what is this? We'll just give like 0B11, and I will try to convert from binary to the decimal format. So this, just try to execute this. So 7 is being displayed. So we are converted from binary to decimal. So one more thing we are having like how to convert from the octal values, and here we have like dot format 0x. It's a decimal value, so here you can give it as 100. So try to run this out. So 144. So the octal value of decimal, giving input as a decimal and getting the output in terms of the octal. So you can convert it to the hexadecimal also. So this is regarding x dot format. So this I can give it as 1, something like this. And 189, the equivalent of 189 is the hexadecimal format is BD. And we have print, and we can have some like the positive signs. If you want to have some positive signs while I'm displaying something, we can have this. So this is like plus 23. So here the positive sign is appended at the numbers, at the start of the number. Now positive number is appended. So this is out the different options that we are having. So we can also have like can also find some search in the string. If I take some string here, I want to find whether the John is present in the string or not. So here I just say print str dot find. So what is the string that you are trying to find? So this is a John. So just run this thing, what output will get. So you'll get the index of the John here. If it is present, you'll get the some number, the index will get. So this is how you can search in the string. Similarly, we can also go for like str.find or index also you can use. Instead of find option, you can use index of the John. Just run this out. So index of John is the 11. So you can get certain values like index also you can find out. So this is the option. So we can also have some rounding values. How to have this rounding? For example, I take some number like integer values. I just say round off 3.6. So give you some exact some round figure of this 3.6. So it is 4. So you can also have certain absolute values. So how to find absolute values here? Absolute values of -4. So what is absolute value of -4? So -4 is +4. So also we can get the absolute value of the complex number. Just run this out. So 3 absolute value of is like 3 plus 4j absolute value is nothing but the 5. So this is the things. I also can have some range related thing. Range is like we can display some range of numbers from 1 to 100. So how to make use of that particular range? So for example, we just say this. I'll take an example for I in the range of, this is a for loop. I want to display the numbers from 1 to 100 or 1 to 50. We'll take 1 to 50. So what is the I have to give the range that starts from 1 and end to 50. So 51 is the maximum value that I should give. So to display all the numbers. So print the value of the I. So just run this out, we'll see what is the output. So 51 to 50 it is displaying. So range of 1 to 50. So here also we can have some increments. I can have 1 to 10. So third argument is nothing but the increment that we are giving. So I'll just run this out. So 1, 11, 21, 31, 41. So this is the where we can also do this like this. So one more thing we'll try to discuss is the main method. How to call the main method using the Python. So I have main function. Similarly in the C we have main function. The same thing is there in the Python also. So how to do this? How to execute the main method? So definition. So there is some function called as a sum fun. So here I will try to call this function. Inside sum fun. So here I will say like definition main function. So this is a main function that in the main function I am calling this sum fun. So what I will do is I will call this main over here. The same thing we have in the C, but we have to call this function that is mandatory in the Python. So I am calling the main, and inside the main I have again calling this sum fun. So this is going to be displayed. The something message that we are having in a sum fun will be displayed. So this is what is one of the advantages using here in the functions, main function. And we'll discuss about the one of the lambda functions. So what is the use of the lambda functions? So lambda functions are similar to the regular functions. Only thing is they don't have a they have a single line. They are single line, whereas the other functions are having more than one line. So this is having only one line functions. So lambda functions are having only one line. So we'll discuss this. So we have the add variable, and I will write lambda x comma y. So what I am doing is I am adding this function. What will take? It will take two parameters x and y, and it will going to add the two variables. So now I am going to call this function. So what happens if I call this add? So I will run out this. So it will display some address of some function. So this is if you call the lambda function, it will display certain values, or you can say like some address. If I want to pass certain variables, so add, I want to pass certain variables. So what to do here? So print add, so 10 comma 20. So here I am passing two variables, 10 comma 20. So now I am trying to call this add. So what will it will going to return? So it is going to return 30 here. It will add the two variables x and y, 10 and 20. So it is going to return the function. So here it is going to return the 30 over here. So similarly we can also have certain string over here. So what is this? You can have like string str. So what I will do is I will just say like print this str. So whatever I am giving, so that is going to be displayed. So here I will say like I will just remove these things. Now I will just call print. So I will change this, change like display. So here I will say like this. So disp of, so I will have to pass certain, I don't need to have any print function over here. So just I will call disp. So what I am passing certain, I will pass some string over here, hi. So let us just try to understand this, what will happen. So what happens, the hi is being displayed. So this is what the particular function is called. We have to pass certain variable, then only we will just call this function, it will display certain address. So this is what the use of the lambda functions. We will try to understand the filters. Using lambda I will try to go for a filter. So what is a filter? It will going to reduce the values that is given in the list. So filtering is nothing but it will reduce the some values, some condition we can apply. So I will take some list here, list 1. This is the list over here. So what I am doing is like I am trying to call this list. We can select list 2. We can say like I will try to call this output. I will say output. So what I will do is I will call the filter. So inside the filter I can have like lambda function. So what is the lambda function over here? X comma y, or you can say like x is greater than 40. So I want to filter the values that are greater than 40. So what is the list output, or what input have to do? It is nothing but the list. So this I will display it in the output 1. So these are the use of the filters. So filter function we are giving two variables. One is the lambda and the list. Lambda function is nothing but it will filter, nothing but the condition that you are giving. The second one is nothing but the list, that is nothing but the input, and the output is contains the output of this input. So here I will try to display the values that are present in the output. So for I in output 1, so print the value of the I. So I am trying to display the I. So here it is nothing but the filter. So I am using the loop here. So it is going to display the values that are above the 40. So one more thing we can have like print a list of output 1, that is also can be used. Okay, so same thing it will display in terms of the list. So you can also go for the map function. So the map function is nothing but used to map some values, like I want to get the square of the each number. So what is the function I am going to write? Square of each number in the list, x into x. The list of output 1, same thing we are doing here. So they will get the square of each number. So what is the square of 10? Square of 20, okay, square of 30. Like this we'll get all the squares of the numbers. And we have a reduce. So in order to use the reduce side, we have to import the reduce here. Import reduce. Reduce, and here we have like again the lambda function. And what is the reduce here we are going to do? So here we will see like x is x comma y. So it will find the sum of the two numbers x plus y. So here what happens is the two adjusted values are added. 20 plus 10, it is nothing but 30, and 30 plus 30 60. Like this it will give you the end result. So this is not going to be the list now because it is being reduced, and this is going to be the output 1. So you have to use from function tools. Import reduce. So this is going to give the answer of this. So sum of all these numbers like 10 plus 20 30, 30 plus 30 60, 60 plus 40 100. Like this all the sum will get. So this is also one of the use of the lambda functions. And we'll try to discuss like how to find the sum time taken to execute certain statements. So what is the how to do this? If I want to find the time taken to execute certain instructions, so how to do this? So we'll try to go for the import here. Import. So what is this function here? Import a time it. So print. You can say like time it dot time it. So here we have some function called time it dot. What is the statement you want to measure? So I have this three statement: x is equal to 20 and y is x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. Third statement is sum is equal to x plus y. So I want to measure the time taken to execute this command. So this is done by using the time it command. So just I will measure and display the k value. So k value contains the time taken to execute certain statements. So this is having import time. So here so import this is like import time it, and here it is time it. So this is going to measure certain time now. So you can get the exact time out, like what is the time taken to measure certain instructions. And we have like one more thing, we have like yield function. So yield using yield, how to use the yield. So yield is nothing but instead of having return statement in the function, we can have a yield. So what is the yield is going to return some object address. It is going to return certain object address. So this is we'll try to understand this by using some examples, some fun. So this is, now I will say like yield hi So just try to call this function and try to understand this. Print some fun over here. Generator object. So we'll get the object of the address. So like address of the object. So now I want to display certain the value that is going to be returned. So I want to get this. So I will get this by using the list function. So we can have list also, list of the sum fund. So just run this module and understand this. So run this. So we'll get the value that is written by the function. So one thing, we can also make use of the loops to display this. Instead of using list, we can make use of I in the sum fund. Generator function also, where you can have more than one yield function. If you want to have more than one yield function, we can go for a generator object. So here it is high. So this yield, I just say hello. So I in the sum fund. So print some generator, we can say like, so generator. So here it is I in the generator here. So this we can also say like, so this, just run this out. So this is the message that is to be displayed, that can be displayed. Hi, hello, how are you? So this is the way you can display. And also you can make use of a list. Instead of using this generator object, we can make use of list of print list of the generators. So you can have the list of hi, hello, how are you? It is going to be displayed. You can make use of a next also if you want to display the generator function. So I will see like k is equal to generator. I will call this function. I'll store it in some variable here, and I will say like print of next of k. So here we can have next variable also. So again, if you use print of next of k, like this, you can go on displaying the values that are there here. So this is what the generate function that we are using here. And one more thing, we are using certain like counters. So counters is useful in counting the some values that are present. So what did you try to understand this? So before that, I have to go for importing the counter here from collection import counter. So this we have to do this before using this counter. So str, so we'll take this example and try to understand this. So here we'll try to use the counter here. So counter of, so what is the string? So what it will display? It will display the count of each character. What is the count of each character that is present in the string? So just run this out. So it should be collections. There should be collections. So you can see like the count of each character is being displayed, including the space also. Space is also considered as a character here. So this is the one of the thing. And the second thing that we are trying to understand is like trying to go for the list. If I take list here, list 1. So what is the objects here? So list 1. So list contains x comma y comma z. Again here it is x. I will take x comma so this how many x's are present, how many y's are present. So I want to know that. So I can use the counters here. So here it is the list 1. Just run this out. So we can have the count of x, y and z. So we can change it to tuple also. The same thing we can apply for the tuple 1. So here we can change this brackets over here. So this will be the brackets. So run this out. List 1 is not defined. So here it is. It should be tuple 1. So what is the count of x, what is the count of y, and what is the count of z? So this is going to be displayed. So we can go for enumeration this thing. So what is the use of the enumeration? So we can have like give some index for the list. So we want to give some index for the list. So what how to do this? So this is having x comma y comma z. So now I will give like enumerate. So e list, we can say like e list. So enumerate the list 1. So this will assign some index to the list variables. It will assign some index to the list variables. So print the e list. So enumerate object for this thing. So we can have like list of index. So we can use print of list of e list. Zero x 1 y is 2z. So like this you can have some index for this items in the list. For the items in the list we can have the things to sleep. So for example I will, so here I will import time over here. So I will say print high. So time dot sleep. We will make the sleep is the thing, but like it's about trying to stop some execution of something, certain things by few seconds. I tried to stop the execution of certain for certain time. I want to stop executing the program. So how to do this? For certain time I want to stop executing the command. So this is high. It will display high. It will wait for 10 seconds and it will display the hello message. So like this is the use of the importing the time. Yes, we can do this by using this sleep command. So one more thing we try to understand is like we have like type command. So we want to identify the type of this type of x or type of 10. What is the type of 10? So we try to see like it's a type of 10. So we so it is nothing but the integer type. Suppose say I will say like print of type of 10 comma 10 10.34. What is a type of 10.34? So it is nothing but the float type. So this is having certain float type. So we will try to take a list here. So list of list 1. So here we'll identify 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. So print of type of list 1. So print of type of list 1. So this is the type of list. So this we can have like will display all the different types here, and I can have like print is instance is also one of the things. So is instance. So is a 10 is the instance of integer. We'll try to see what is it will return true or false. We'll check whether it is instance of the 10 is an instance of int. Yes, it is true. Suppose say if I take 10.34, whether this is an instance of the integer, we will try to see this returning false. So you can have like true and false over here. So this is the use of the is instance. So you can also print by not using the new line. So for example, the print hi will use like print hello. So this is the two important lines. So now I want to run this thing. So what happens is hi is displayed, hello is displayed. I want to display hi and hello in a single line. In a single line I want to display. So what you have to do is you have to use end is equal to space. So this is going to display it in a single line. So we can have like we displayed the string in a single line. This is the use of the end function. And we have like path functions. So we want to get some path of some particular file. So we have different file over here. We'll see what all the files that are present in the directory. My file 2, 4, 5, 6, 23. Like this we have different set of files. I want to get the path of the particular file. So I want to get the path of the particular file. So f is equal to. So what I will do is I want to get the path. So before that we try to import certain path here. Import os dot path. So we have like two different things. So import os and import os dot path. So we can say like import from os. You can say import path. Okay. These are the two important things we have to import this. Try to get the path of the particular file. So f is p is equal to try to see like how to get the path. So path dot real path, we will say like real path, and the name of the file that we want to get the path of file2 dot txt. So print the path. So just run this out. We get the path of the particular file. So I want to get only the directory that are associated with this particular path. How to do this? We have to split this. So how to split this? So we have like tail and head and tail. We can say head and tail. We want to split this. So how to split this? Path dot split function. We have split function, and we'll give the actual path over here, and I will try to print the header information over here, and I will try to print the trailer information here. So we'll get directory and the path information in this directory and the file information. The first thing we'll get the directory of the particular file, and the second thing we are going to get the particular file name. So this is directory and this is the file name we are going to get. So this is what the path and split that you are using here. So is exist. So we have like one more thing. I want to check whether the particular file is present there or not. So path dot exist. So what is the name of the file? My file 2 dot whether this file is existing or not. I want to check this. So this is true. This is like this is existing. It is returning the true over here. and how to copy this particular file from one directory to other. I want to create some new file and I want to copy this. So how to do this? Sh until. So we have like sh until where you can import this particular module before doing the operation. Dot copy dot. So what I will do? So what is the format here? Destination comma source. So what is the destination? I will try to go for a destination. So destination is nothing but the path name. We are going to take the same thing, header information, and we'll try to append this. So I will create new file here. My file, say like 12.txt. So this is the destination. What is the source? I will take. I take the same thing. I will take the real path. What the real path is having, the p. This is the source. So here this format is nothing but source comma destination. So we will copy certain files from one this thing. So this is the use of the sh until. So sh until module is used for copying the particular file. So here this is done. So we can see like there the path is existing here, 12.txt. Yes, this is present over here. So this is the, I copied this particular content. So one more thing, we are having like file operations. We have different set of file operations where you can do certain operations on the file. So I can open the files. So how to do this? Open my file 2.txt and open this particular file. So we are opening it in a read mode. Okay, so read mode I am trying to open. What I will do is I will try to, I will open it in the write mode first, and I'll try to write certain contents over this file. F.write. So I'll take hi, hello. So this is the contents that we are going to take over here, and I'll write this and I'll just close this particular file, and I will try to go for some different things. 27 I will take. I'll change the name of the file. So if the file is not there, it is presented. I'm opening it in the write mode, and I'm writing certain contents and closing this thing. So Python provides an option to write the particular contents into the file. So let us open this file, whether this file is present. Yes, this file is present over here. I'll just open this. This is like hi hello is written inside this particular file. So now I want to like open this content. F is equal to open in a again in the append mode. I want to open this in a append mode here. The same thing I will write. Just copy this content here. So what I will do is I will write the for loop here. So for I in the, so what is the this thing? Now the thing is like I want to go for a range function here, range of, so some 5. So here I will try to open this in a append mode now. So this is going to be like a plus. We have to go for a plus if I open this in a append mode. So I will writing hi hello for 5 times over here, and just check this particular file. This hi hello is being displayed for the 5 times. So this is the we want to read now. I just, it is like writing functions. Now I want to read. So how to do this for reading this particular this thing? So we'll go for read. So contents. F is equal to open. So what is the name of the file? My file 27.txt. So this I am going to open it in the read mode now, because I want to read the contents of the file. So contents is equal to f dot read. So print the contents of this particular file. So contents I am going to display the contents. So this is, I'm just executing this, and I will say like f dot close, and say f dot close and print front end. So the contents are printed over this particular directories. So all these contents are read. So I want to read using readline command. I can also make use of a readline command. It will read by line. If I make use of a readline command, line by line it will read. This is what I can read by line, and again I can use the readline one more time. It will read the next contents of the particular file. So this is how we can make use of the read and write function in the file. So this is the use of this Python. So I want to create a zip file. So how to create a zip file? So the same thing we done it as the thing. So I will try to import the OS here. I will import the path. Input the path. So we try to get the path over here. So I will try to get the exact path of this particular file. So how to get this? So here we have like path dot real path. I will take some file name. So I'll say like file dot txt, my file dot to dot txt, and we will try to see like I try to get the header and trailer, like the directory name. I want to get the directory name. So how to make this? Path dot split command here, split the path name. So split. So here print of the header information. We'll try to see whether this is working fine or not. Print the trailer here. So this is the print command that you are using here, and yes, it is working fine now. Now what I will do is I will try to get the header information and try to create a zip file over here. So how to create a zip file over here? So zip file dot make archive. So make use of the command make archive. Make archive. What is the output file now? So this is, I will say like my zip, and the type of the file you are creating zip. So what is the name of the directory? H. So we'll create the zip file over here. So it is os dot make archive. Sh until. So we will just make import sh until. So we'll always make use of import sh until. So here it is sh until here. So make archive. So this is like we are successfully able to create a zip file here. Let us go and check the directory. We are able to create this zip file. So this is what I created. This is what I have discussed in this video. Thanks for watching.